Now, 48-hour ultimatum, what is your take on this? And it's actually pointing or targeted at foreign miners.
Yes, it has been an all-comers game when it comes to Zamfara. And we've been talking about this for a long time. I'm happy, actually, that the government has finally taken the decision to, stop this mining. It's such an irregulated area, unregulated, and, you have foreigners, even Libyans coming in there, Chinese.
And this is when you say Libyans, there's research, there's intel to back this up.
Oh yeah, there are Libyans in there who come across the desert to buy whatever is there. You see, the attraction is simple. It's it happens that people are coming to realize it's one of the largest deposits of gold, in the West Africa sub-region. So a lot of people are just out in the fray, trying to get as much as they want.
So does this mean that, because I need to understand this very well, does this mean that the Zamfara government itself is not aware that it has gold deposits and not actively also mining it, perhaps through, giving out licenses to private operators, to do so?
No, the sad part of it is that the government, or should I say the governor of Zamfara State, has been very, very lackadaisical about running his state. In fact, people were demonstrating yesterday that they don't even see him. He's mainly in Abuja doing other things instead of securing or running the governance of his own state. So I think everybody is very much aware, and that is why there is the clash and the fights all going on.
So obviously because this has gone on for a long time unchecked, there are now cartels. That is why we're seeing this,
exactly,
occasion, not even occasional, regular banditry and fighting. So how is the government going to from your, as a security expert, how difficult would it be to dismantle this kind of network that has already been established for several years?
Well, if the government is very, very serious, I think the 48 hours ultimatum will be carried out. And I think a lot of them are very, very scared now because it has been a situation where they were having arms. They were even having arms coming to them from somewhere. We have situations or reports where in the night people come to drop all kinds of arms for them. In fact, the governor of Zamfara State has said it once, that the arms that these boys were having is better than the one that the government security agencies are carrying. So, well, now that the government is aware and they're out there to take charge, I think they should be able to, pull out everybody that is in there.
Okay,
it will take them some time.
When you say some time, your experience, this kind of scenario, how long could it take? And do they know exactly what is, what is on ground? I'm thinking that perhaps when they clear the area, if they're able to, scare away the bandits and go in there themselves, then what they see will perhaps determine how long, it would take to establish some order.
It's not going to be within 48 hours. I can tell you that. It's going to be more than 48 hours. But again, if the government goes in there and find out the extent of deposits and what is actually going on there, then they can regulate it just like they are regulating oil in the Niger Delta. But right now, it's so unregulated that everybody's just doing whatever they like. And I think looking at the extractive laws we have in Nigeria, these are supposed to fall in, under the same laws that are used in mining oil. So let's see what will happen when they go in there, if they have the political will to actually do it.
I suppose that's another issue itself. Well, you and I were talking earlier about the terrorists, the Boko Haram terrorists, and I was asking you, is it possible that they're also part of this?
Oh, yes. They are definitely part of it. And I have said it many, many times. Many people believe that the Boko Haram situation is isolated to the northeast. But that is not true because, terrorists have different means of financing their activities. They can go for drug smuggling, they can go for illegal mining, and they can go for bank robbery, kidnapping. And then, of course, what is happening in Zamfara State, I couldn't put it beyond them because I think there have been some elements of Islamic State, West Africa province, people that have traversed that area. And I will not doubt it if there are Boko Haram elements in that area.
So, but that might even make the situation even more difficult, because it's one thing to be fighting bandits who are, just protecting territory over, mineral resources, compared to, actual terrorists who are fighting to actually claim, territory.
Yes.
So, I don't know, how, could that completely just change the game and make it a more protracted process for the government?
That's why I said that it's going to be very, very protracted, and it's not going to be within 48 hours, because there are people who see it as their claim, where they want to, put their foot down and protect that particular piece of real estate. So let's see how it goes.
I was going to say, obviously we don't know the extent, because you talk, like you said, we know that Boko Haram is concentrated to the northeast, and if there's been some kind of expansion into this area, then that's a different ballgame entirely. But let me hear your thoughts, your perspective on, the fight against terrorism, especially Boko Haram and these factions, and one of them claiming to be a branch of ISIS West Africa, as it were, and how they're progressing, and how we as a country, through the army, is fighting this battle. And I know that you've heard that phrase, that they've been technically defeated. Can we still say that at this point?
Even when they said that it was technically defeated, I came out to say that there is nothing like technically defeating insurgency. Because, you see, this is a fight of hearts and minds. You are not fighting a uniformed force that you can identify and fight, They are not uniformed. And even if they are uniformed, the real fight is in the minds of people. And to fight this kind of insurgency, I think we've even tried to advise the government that they have to change their paradigm in dealing with this situation. From an
intel point of view?
Yeah, they should go from the military point of view to intel point of view, and at the same time going towards things like humanitarian.
How do you mean when you say humanitarian?
You know that, let's think about it. You find out that Boko Haram has been recruiting a lot of people. Their recruitment strategy has been increasing, and there are more people going to enlist for Boko Haram. Now, what causes that? Poverty, unemployment, and stuff like that. Listlessness, and then to stop that, the Nigerian government have to learn to hold the grounds. You conquer or route any Boko Haram group out of the place, and then you allow the place empty like that, and they come back to take it over again. So hold the ground, create normal law enforcement things.
Put outposts.
Put things that...
Because what we hear is that sometimes, resources, even manpower can be a problem. It took you a while to reclaim one particular territory, you reclaimed it, and then you're like, there are others that we need to attend to. Let's just leave some vigilantes.
Then you let it go,
they leave some vigilantes on the ground. But sometimes, it's 50-50. Boko Haram could attack and, defeat them, and then they were back to square one.
And actually, that is the job of the police, and the National Civil Defense Corps. When the army has taken over and moved on, they should take over the place and then bring some kind of normalcy in the area.
Now, for Boko Haram, from that point where they had a lot of territories taken away from them, they resorted back to the soft targets, suicide bomb, especially in markets and large crowded areas, and using women and little girls also to do that. Is that still an effective strategy for the group? Is that what they still do?
That is their
do you think that they're moving towards also claiming territory?
That is their traditional strategy right now. When the Nigerian army was very serious in routing them from some of the areas where they don't have any caliphates, so to say, they now resort back to their traditional system of using suicide bombers. And then, of course, because they have links with ISIS also, ISIS have taught them how to use vehicle-borne IEDs right now, whereby they put bombs in vehicles that is driven into a crowded area and then exploded.
No, I was talking to one security expert one time, and she said that one good strategy would be to, and I don't know how easy it will be to, and that this obviously happened through intel, capturing the bomb maker. I mean, he's a very valuable part of the team, of the terrorist team, and if you can get hold of the bomb maker, that you weaken them to a large extent. I mean, I don't know, from an intel point of view, I don't know if that is something that's a strategy.
They have arrested a lot of bomb makers. The State Security Service in Nigeria has been able to arrest more than 3 of them before. But remember, bomb makers are not just a single person. They have a lot of them being trained to do that, and I don't know how many are in their group where you have to arrest all of them.